Even though I play a lot of different games, I have to say only a few really make an impression on me. Something lasting, something moving, or something that made me change my perception on the subject, for example. Being mostly a AAA big production gamer since I've started playing video games, there's a game that shook everything I thought I knew about indie games. Hi, my name is Jimmy and welcome to another soundtrack remake. This is the series of videos where I try my hand at creating a soundtrack for a game. This is neither a cover nor a remix of the existing soundtrack, but just having fun making something new and different. And today, I'll be tackling this beautiful game named Journey. A little bit of context first. Journey is made by that game company who made Flow and Flower before that. I won't be exhaustive about Journey's history, but beyond the fact that I love this game, it really opened my eyes to the indie gaming scene when it came out in 2012. It was truly a fresh and new experience, something that I've never played before. I see it as an adventure game that doesn't need action or fights and a moving scenario with a silent narrative. Everything is experienced by progressing throughout the adventure and, of course, through the music. Austin Wintory did an incredible job narrating the story with his wonderful, graceful melodies, sounds and textures. As for me, I'm gonna try to go a different path working on Journey's music, so let's begin. Okay, so after finishing the game twice the last couple of days, I've selected 4 sections of the game to work on. I have to say it was really difficult to choose because every second of my playthrough felt so inspiring. But I had to make a choice because otherwise this video would have been too long for both you and me. So, we'll start with the first level. We are presented with the fundamentals of the game like its world, ambience, gameplay, etc. There's multiple interpretations a person can have on what Journey is all about, and for me, it's a pilgrimage across limbo. And what I want to do is create an atmosphere for a suspended soul navigating through discoveries and loneliness. The first thing I did was record a drone on my guitar. So if you don't know, a drone is a note or a chord that will sound continuously along with the music. I ran my guitar through one of my all-time favorite effects, the whammy pedal, which is an octaver, and I used it to double my guitar an octave below. Some reverb, a lot of delays, and it goes like this. I use the whammy again on chords for when you discover a fresco, a glyph, or when you make significant progress. While trying different positions on the mic selector of my guitar, I noticed scratching noises that I tried to use while playing chords to create glitching effects, giving you the impression that you don't really remember how it got there in the first place. I also found the melody on guitar. I had my tone rolled off of the way, which gave the soft muffled sound that I liked. I don't know if it's just me, but in the context of the song, it reminded me of the Last of Us soundtrack. I'll let you tell me what you think afterward. At this point I planned to keep this melody as a recurring theme across the different levels and started to build up the first song. I've added a cello, a few variations here and there, and pushed the intensity up a little bit at the end of the level. And now, let's hear it. Moving on to the next song, I chose to work on this very short section. This is the end of the second level where you come across this odd factory tower lost in a sandstorm. Normally there's no music playing when you get up that tower. When I saw and heard those machines being built, I thought that'd be cool to make something that syncs up with the factory tempo. I immediately thought of using my MIDI chord to create a synthy choir. As if it was the singing of those artificial beings brought to soulless life. I kept the same melody as before as I planned to, but changed the key of the previous song and gave the theme a whole different flavor. It's darker, sadder, and somewhat ominous. To give you an example, here's the same melody in the key of the first song, and then in the key of the second one. I cranked up the intensity as you get closer to the tower and then brought some drums to accentuate the rhythm of the factory. I wanted the drums to be simple yet a little strange with a martial feeling. As a result, leaving you with the impression of an army in the making. Alright then, let's see how it goes. Next up we have the ocean segment. While you could easily think we are underwater, it is just an impression created by the amazing ambience of the game. Still, I wanted to contribute to this ocean vibe. I sent my guitar swimming in reverbs and delays as I did with the drones from the previous tracks. This time it's very soft. I added a nice vibrato, otherwise called the seasick effect. It's like echoing strangeness coming from the depth of the ocean. It sounds mostly peaceful, sometimes on the edge of discomfort, until you cross paths with the enemies of the game. Apparently they are referred to as war machines or guardians. I'm gonna call them Bob for Big Old Barracuda, so it's more personal that way. Speaking of Bob, this was a nice opportunity to use this lead sound that I love. I made this preset a while back, inspired by one of the theme songs from Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I wonder if you can guess which one. And if someone has the reference, it's gonna be plus 50 points for Gryffindor. Hell yeah. Back to Bob, I penned the lead sound between left and right, depending on his position relative to the player for immersion. The clip ends on you sliding down to the exit of the level, chased by two Bobs at the same time. I wanted to create pressure, and for that I increased the tempo gradually I went up the chromatic scale until it resolves on something strangely open. Alright then, time for a swim. I wanted to end this episode with what I think is an iconic moment of Journey, which is the synth slide level. I also considered working on the end of the game, but this is the moment that made the biggest impression on me at the time. And I didn't want to spoil the ending if anyone watching this video decided to try Journey for the first time. There's too much to say about what I've made, so I will focus on the essential. I worked with a lot of violins, cellos and violas from a plugin called Augmented Strings for a more cinematic vibe this time around. First I played this arpeggio. It sounded like a waltz, so I had my time signature set to 6/8 until I introduced the percussion with this pattern. I ended up with a more 12/8 feeling. It's definitely more energetic, it's like wind pushing the back of the character, giving him more speed. So we have a nice contrast between the epicness of the percussions and the graciousness of the strings. I added layers of instrument progressively as the player gained speed. Once again, I brought back the main melody on guitars and coupled it with some subtle violins. The sequence ends up with a big jump into the unknown, and that's where I let the instrument just slowly fade away, leaving you in silence. Before I share the final results, I wanted to thank you for your time. I'm thrilled I worked on this title and I cannot wait to start on the next one. If you have any game recommendation for future soundtracks, feel free to share, that could inspire my next work. In the meantime, let me know your thoughts on these songs. Take care and see you next time.